Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now June 15th of 2023. We got roughly 15 days until the release of Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, something that a lot of fans have been very skeptical about, very much controversial looking at the actual movie itself, based on what PWB has been saying, Harrison Ford, James Mangold, and a lot of others out there that have been talking about this film that's been making a lot of fans very standoffish, to say the least. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support, and let's jump right into the subject. Now, we know that Kathleen Kennedy is also another part of that list that's been promoting this film endlessly. I must add. There's been a lot of marketing going into Indy 5, at least on the creators' end of things, like interviews and talking about the film, stuff like that. But we haven't really been seeing all that many TV spots or trailers, at least on TV or even on ads on the internet. It seems to be down to a bare minimum, and that's all rooted to how Lucasfilm dialed back on 80% of the marketing to save money, essentially, from how much they put into the budget and what they are anticipating for losses. So let's dive right into exactly what's going on here with Indy 5 and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Now, you guys may or may not know this, but Phoebe Waller-Bridge has been talking endlessly about Indy 5, about how Helena is the star, Helena is the focus of this film, and if you guys ever did check out that Indy 5 clip that I talked about yesterday from Cannes Film Festival, it is very apparent that she is the focus of this movie. She basically is the Rey of the Indiana Jones franchise, basically. So let's get right into this. Now, with Phoebe Waller-Bridge now promoting Indy 5 ahead of its release date, she recently had the following to say to the public and to fans around the world. When I was going over this with James, we had decided it was a great story for Helena to shine. So as a screenwriter and as a creator, generally it was only natural for James to allow me to take part in some of the creative elements of this story, especially for Helena's journey and how she is the true focus of this film. It was quite a fun ride, taking part in the script and working with Mangold. This was a big challenge on how do we tell Helena's story in Indy 5, so the decision was to progressively make her the prominent role in this film. Much like Star Wars with the return of the older characters, you have to focus on the new, and this is something that I was pressing on Mangold, and he agreed with me that this should be the structure of the plot for Helena. Now, let me pause here for a second. Now, basically, what's so bad about this is that Phoebe is literally admitting that she did play a role in developing this story with her experience with Fleabag. By the way, she's the creator and screenwriter of Fleabag, and James figured since she's so experienced screenwriting and being a creator of such a big piece, that he allowed her to take part in some of the creative process. This, by the way, I think is awful for Indy 5, and she's literally admitting here that Helena is going to be the star of Indy 5. Now, we've talked about this endlessly, but there is reportedly a Rey moment in Indy 5, and specifically a moment that is very similar to when Rey looks over to Harrison Ford as Han Solo, and she goes, "I bypassed the compressor." We're going to have another moment just like that. The bypass the compressor moment is going to basically be in Indy 5, and I've said this many times, that Helena is the Rey of the Indiana Jones franchise. There's no doubt about it, and what PWB is saying here, this basically confirms it. So anyways, let's dive into more, because we're not done yet. We're not done yet here. It gets worse, so stick around. On top of this, she goes on to say, it was bloody hell when he was hitting writer's block at times, but the story, and even I had dealt with that a number of times when brainstorming and coming up with the ideas for Helena's story. This story I felt needed to showcase diversity and female empowerment, especially how it takes place in a difficult time in certain parts of the film. We loved to explore that aspect. So guys, I think she's talking about time travel here, just to be specific. She states, it was tricky, but we made it work, and it was a rough process making the flow of the story work around that. Harrison at first didn't really agree with our approach and wanted to keep the story simple, but we knew it had to evolve. James knew it had to go beyond the limits of what Indiana Jones is about to make it stand out from number 4. She's talking about Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Mangold is modest with this film. He always comes across to others that it's not as great as the original 3, which that's not a great sign, by the way. But she goes on to say, but I think it's better than all the originals. He really went all the way in with this story and fans are going to absolutely enjoy it. So please check it out on June 30th for one last ride with INDY. I don't know about you guys, but toward the tail end of this, it's really coming across very desperate, like she is very fully aware that ticket sales are going to really tank, and she's really trying to get people into the theater seats, trying to really make it like it's better than the first 3, and dare I say this, guys, there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies in my book. You have, of course, Temple of Doom, you have The Last Crusade, and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Those are the only Indiana Jones movies, in my opinion. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, in my opinion, was an abysmal failure, and I think that Indy 5 is going to dethrone that status. I really do. I absolutely do believe that. And I'm not intentionally trying to be negative or pessimistic about this just for the sake of it. I really do feel that this movie is going to take Indy 4's spot, without a doubt. So anyways, what's interesting about this is that this is all apparently focused on diversity and female empowerment, and how literally PWB announces here that she took part in some of the creative elements of Indy 5. And Kathleen Kennedy, by the way, has been endlessly trying to piece together the broken elements of Indiana Jones 5 with the marketing. She's already trying to, get Bob Iger and the Disney executives to create a little bit of a boost in the marketing, pouring some extra money into the marketing campaign of Indy 5 to at least get more people in the theater seats through, fan engagement, getting it out there. And, like the Anzellans in Mando Season 3, it's always like, no, they're broken. They're broken. It's broken. You can't piece it together, it's too late, you're 15 days out, and it's not gonna work. No matter how much marketing you pull into this thing at last minute, it's not going to pull fans into the theater seats as much as you'd hope. So, PWB, once again, Phoebe Waller-Bridge going all out, stating that she believes that this is the basic way to go about doing things for Indy 5 by really kind of focusing on specific agendas rather than character development. She's literally admitting that she helped out with James Mangold, that she helped out with the story process, and how Harrison Ford, by the way, didn't really agree with their approach in the beginning, and eventually had to adapt to that. That's another concern. And I don't know, but if you look at that Indy 5 clip by Cannes Film Festival, Harrison really looks sidelined, or should I say, Indiana Jones looks very much like a sidelined character, at least in that scene. And that's not a good sign at all, especially for a clip that was a part of Cannes. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below, fill me below in the comments what you have to say about all of this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again, no.